Thank you for that great introduction. I don't know, I think I was just a small town boy trying to make it in the big leagues. It's quite an honor to be selected for this year's Athletic Hall of Fame, to this year's inductees, past inductees, honored guests, friends and family, and especially my teammates who played in the 70s and 60s era. I'm thankful that you could join us tonight. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about, from my perspective, what it was like growing up in Auburn and Placer High School in the 60s and 70s. Second, I need to recognize past players, coaches, and teachers, administrators, Mr. Kovich, and who contributed greatly to my success, but also contributed greatly to a lot of success of a lot of high school players that came out of Placer. Third, time permits, I have a few stories that I'd like to share that's been with me for 40 years and I'm sure going to stay with me for the rest of my life. Life for me in the early 60s and 70s as a second grader, Lakin Wade, sixth grader, Evie Kane was basically a tag-along brother. I constantly tried to keep up with his friends, and at that time, as well as I don't think today there are no known gangs, it seemed like brothers kind of ruled the streets in Auburn. They determined, what games were played, they determined who won. So for this moment, there's a set of brothers I'd like to recognize who were quite influential. The Lenardises, the Smiths, the Pruitts, the Robies, the Caesars, Hogans. I saw my old friend Blankenships, Weinholtz, Parkers, Gaveas, David Thompsons. They all have a positive influence on my life. I'd like to recognize my better half who's here, who just lost her mom last week. It's been my fiance for 15 years, been a blessing for me. Victoria is here. Thank you for being here. I also want to recognize my mother, Mary Lou, 86 years and going strong. She's here tonight. Thank you. I'm thankful for the house that was right across the football field that I used to do a hop, step, jump on the metal gate that's no longer there, but in the backyard was a football field, the backyard was a tennis courts, backyard was a baseball field, and right around the corner, down right over here was the outdoor basketball pavilion. That's where I spent most of my time, and it was a great place to practice, great place to hang out. No longer there, but maybe we need to add that project somewhere, Mr. Lee, getting a court, outdoor court somewhere. I'm also proud of my children who travel a great distance to be here. My daughter Allison, husband Matthias, my son Spencer and his girlfriend from Santa Barbara, and the Shanleys, fans and referees, and all the family for being here. Thank you very much. I also need to thank Coach Tangney, who's been up here, and Coach Berry for the opportunity to learn the game of basketball at a high level. 6 bullets that I'd like to describe what they've been like. One is character. They had a lot of character. I'd like to say that Coach Berry was an EEO coach. He's equal opportunity, so you knew that if you messed up, didn't play team ball, had a call from Kevin Cummings, the big bird, over the weekend, and he reminded me of that. Intensity, drive, humor. And you would know when they were upset. Coach Taney would grab you, maybe? Not maybe grab you. We didn't do that in those days. But he would start red. You knew you were in trouble. And Coach Berry, he would just do, he would like, am I seeing what I'm seeing out here? So they were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun. They made practices worthwhile. There was a rating system after the games that they put in place. They had a balanced system of scoring, turnovers, assists, rebounds, and you usually looked at that as determinant of whether he had a good game. They were way above their time. They assisted me when I went to college. They, wonderful coach. And I also have to thank Mr. Kovich for standing on that sideline. What do you think it felt like as a player with him on there? You know, Chuck, you know, that ref, man, you know, I was in bounds, but I'm so glad you're here to get your award for your seat. One thing that I'd like to say on the teams, all 4 years I played at Placer were wonderful and successful. The 72 year, I'd like to just say 1 or 2 things for them, on behalf of them. They let me play. When I was a sophomore, they let me in. Hashagen and Bob Weinhold, Alton Caesar, Larry Pruitt, Marty Evers. And we started to gel our last year. One thing I was impressed with Coach Berry, when it was the #1 goal was win championships, not win Kendall Arnett. So we took that in heart and had a great year. And all I can say to a lot of those players, I would not be here today without the deepness of the roster, kind of like what Placer had this year, and the success of the team. In closing, I'd like to say I have a saying up in my office from Sir Winslow, if I can find it here, Oslo, and it says this: our main business is not to see what lies dimly in the distance, but to see what lies clearly at hand. And my time's up, so I'm going to sit down. Thank you very much.